So let me ask you guys a question. Have you ever thought about starting your own business? Have you ever thought about, hey, wouldn't it be great if I just go out there and do my own thing instead of working for somebody else? And if you said yes, then I need you to listen to this video. I'm going to teach you 3 powerful things that most people don't ever talk about when it comes to businesses and entrepreneurship. The first thing I'd like to talk about is the fact that back in the days, if you remember, it wasn't too long ago, people used to go out there and buy these shelf corporations, right? They take these shelf corporations and then they shortcut funding. You know, they get these 80 paydex score companies. They go and they have these CFOs, credit ready guys, and then they can go funding. Still happens time to time, but it's very hard now. Okay, so I have no opinion on that. Don't ask me about that. But I just want you to think in that mindset. That's the first thing. So why do you think people did that back in the days, right? For 2 things. Number 1, they used that money to buy some businesses or expand the existing business. And then they want to shortcut the funding. They don't want to put in the work. They don't want to put in the effort. So they'd get these shelf corporations and basically run a marathon, but the last 10 yards and still win because they just basically bought their last 10 yards, right? So that's the way that most people thought about it in shelf corporations. Others just saw it as a shortcut to basically buy money at a discount, right? Because 85% of those transactions that were bought before shelf corps and got funded immediately after the first year were on default. Nothing changed. So the people, the way they saw it is they take that money, somehow figure out not to pay it back. Their bad credit habits took over. They didn't have good credit at all. They had cash. So they shortcutted that process. The unfortunate thing to that is it became more and more difficult now, right? Systems change, and that's what people do. Terrible credit, people who try to engineer their files, try to do crazy things, end up making it harder for people who actually deserve it. So going into that level, if individuals in the past were able to do shelf corps, shortcut funding, get access to money just by simply buying access, what's different about entrepreneurship? A lot of people want to start their own business. They want to take all the risks, time, sacrifice, sacrifice time with their families, sacrifice time with their friends, associates, essentially not live a social life anymore just to get into entrepreneurship so they can make something out of themselves. And the harsh reality is 99% of those entrepreneurs never amount to anything because what ends up happening is they put so much work, so much effort, so much labor, right? And end result is they have nothing to show for it because there's a lot of people out there who are outdoing you, who are overworking you, who have resources, existing businesses. They can look at you and say, well, this guy that just started in the block, he's stepping in our territory. Let's make it impossible for him to compete. They have economies of scale. They can reduce their prices and just basically outcompete you, right? They can basically look at you and say, look, this guy can't afford to survive for the next few months if we reduce our price at a promo. And then what ends up happening is now your business is you have to rethink. You have to go back to work. You have to let go of your entrepreneurial dreams. So don't think that it's a place that's very friendly. It's not. It's very, very predatory. Entrepreneurship is the most predatory territory you'll ever step into. Okay? It's a very, very, very dangerous place. But it still has a lot of opportunities. And you can make it very big. But instead of taking all that risk, right? Instead of taking all that risk, which is my second point, why don't individuals go out there and buy existing businesses? Why do they have to sacrifice their time, their money, their resources, and all the risks, right? Just to get into something and at the end of the day, gamble on the opportunities, whether or not it will succeed. Isn't that very risky? Isn't that basically putting your livelihood at risk? So for a lot of you guys who are out there who are thinking about, starting your own business or you're thinking about going into entrepreneurship, I encourage you to first investigate the subject of acquiring businesses. The reason why I say that is because there are out there individuals right now that are saying, hey, look, we have businesses that we're going to start and we're going to go out there and create these great companies. We're going to make it the next Google, the next Facebook, and all that great dandy stuff. The problem with that, my friends, is the fact that that's just hypotheticals. There's very few people who actually get to those levels, right? So instead of taking all that risk, you can absolutely do that if you have a structure. Now, wouldn't it be easier if you had some sort of business you bought, it's spitting out cash flow, you increased its value, you're making a lot more, you're paying yourself out of it very comfortably, you sleep better at night, and you're actually spitting out its profits and reinvesting that into your entrepreneurial dreams, into your entrepreneurial journey, right? So the wealthiest people in this world, they have 2 things going for them. Number 1, they have a lot of shares in a lot of businesses and they're investing passively, and basically they go in and they buy these portfolio of successful companies and they use their dedicated resources and connections to enhance the value of those companies to make it more profitable and then resell it or basically list it on public stock exchanges and allow the public to come in and increase the valuation of that business, 10, 20, 30x, right? That's the most successful investors in the world. The second thing they do really well is invest in real estate, but not the small type of real estate, the incrementally huge values of real estate portfolios. And they go in and they syndicate with each other among like-minded individuals, and they go into partnerships and create a lot of value and increase the value of those assets while it's spitting out cash flow. The biggest issue for you and I, or individuals who are actually participating in this video, are probably you're wealthy, so you probably already have all these type of things going for you. I myself deal with a lot of wealthy individuals. I do have certain portfolios on my own business level and real estate, but here's the trick. It's very difficult when you're starting off to have access to rubbing and shaking hands with titans in the real estate game when you have no skin in the game for yourself or no track record to show for it. A lot of people miscalculate that. And it's also very difficult to have a business that's so successful spitting out cash flow. By the time you reach there, you're basically having gray hair and you're losing a lot of sleep and you're under a lot of stress. So you don't have anything, no energies or juices left in you to really think creatively outside the box to do better and greater things. So this is a BS that's sold to a lot of people. Go into the entrepreneurial game, go and get that, you'll be fine, you'll be all right, you're a go-getter, you're a champion. And they feed you this parasite that's going to drain you hours and hours watching YouTube videos on motivation, leadership. You're the best person ever. You deserve love. Don't let the system kill you. Okay? Don't let the system kill you. Here's the truth. You have to go out there, acquire an existing business. A lot of people out there, these gurus want to sell you their seminar tickets, tell you about, it's the greatest shift of wealth that's happening in this generation and in this era. But what is it exactly? What are you talking about? What wealth are you talking about? It's definitely not real estate. 90% of the wealth is based on businesses. The liquidity is locked up in the value of those businesses. It's up to you to come in and unlock that value. That's where the shift starts. When you get that, you have the liquidity, access to capital, that spits out the profits. You can reinvest into real estate, build some skin in the game, build some track records, then go rub shoulders and shake hands with those titans in the real estate game, which I can make personal introductions to you for if you're successful in that level. Don't let the parasite of motivation eat away your brain cells. It's not worth it. Motivation is something that you have to constantly depend on. It becomes a drug. But if you take action, implement, you do your things, and you live by your means in terms of like, hey, this is what I got to do. I don't give a crap. I don't procrastinate. I take the action right away. That's how you move forward. So don't take the risk of entrepreneurship. Take the risk of entrepreneurship through an insurance policy, and that's called buy an existing business that has enough cash to feed your entrepreneurial dreams. Because you'll have the resources. If certain things fail, your business is still running. The value is still great. You can sell it for a later 6 to 7 figure exit. But you cannot do that with entrepreneurial journey. That's going to take you 10, 15 years to build something. And then at the end, competitors eat you away because they've just outdone you every single step of the way. Every oxygen you want to breathe, they'll take 80% of it. Suffocating your dreams at the end of the day. And don't fall for motivational garbage. It's not for you. So I hope that you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave it below. I'd be more than happy to answer you. Hey guys, tomorrow we have this live Q&A for credit-related topics. It's around 1 p.m. Eastern. I believe it's 10 Pacific. So if you're around, I'd like to see you there. Ask some questions. You can actually go to that link and start asking questions in the comment section below or the chat. I'll catch up to it. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. I hope you found this video helpful. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Share this video with those who needs to see this message. And I hope I'll see you guys next time. Once again, this is your guide and mentor coming to you with another video. Bye for now.